G'day, Aussie Bonsai Bloke, how you going? Today we're going to do a bit of a winter tour of the garden. As you can see behind me, well, just a bonsai, and I'll show you around. Pretty detailed look at every tree, see how they're all going. So if you guys want an update on any of the trees, watch the whole thing, because I'm going to update, I pretty well think, every tree. So let's get into it. I do have a beer in the background. I'll just go get it. Okay guys, got the old Great Northern going on here. Let's just have a sip and then let's get on with it. Beauty of a day. Just got home from work. Just cracked the first beer. Okay, so I know people have probably told me what tree this is, but I keep forgetting what tree it is. So guys, help me out again. I lost it in the comments, but this tree here, you used to have an oak in this pot, and then this tree here grew alongside the oak on its own, and well, there's about 3 of them, and my plan is eventually to put them into a pot and do a really cool tall bonsai, but it'd be great to actually know what it is. So there you go, bit of homework for you guys. Okay, my big olive, she's going really well. Update on that one. As you can see, here is where I sandpapered it, all up here, and you can see it's going like a brown look now. It's got a few little cracks and stuff appearing, and those cracks will get bigger and bigger as time goes on. And if you're not happy with its progress, you can always go back in there and remark it to create some more old bark. But I reckon that's going pretty well. So I reckon over this summer we'll see it, you know, bark up a bit more. So that's creating old bark with sandpaper. Up into the tree. Have a good look up into that tree. Beauty tree. Look at that. Just beautiful. I might actually move on to a different section, because this here's just finished watering. Over here is probably already drip dry. So let's get over here. Okay. So here's my mallee style, in need of a trim. Now, starting to get a few of these cobwebs all over me trees. So I'm going to have to get some treatment going on here. Not sure what product to use, but I'm starting to get these cobwebs over a lot of my trees. And if you get in here, you know, it doesn't look good. So I'm going to have to do something about that for sure. You guys let me know what you think the best treatment for that is. I assume it's spider mite, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, so that's not the only one. I've got some here, starting to get a bit of a problem with them. In the past I hose them off, but they do keep coming back. So the trees themselves are still growing quite strongly, but I would like to eradicate it for good before it does cause too much trouble. As you can see, I do got to get onto it pretty soon. So a high pressure hose in the past is what I've done, but it keeps coming back, so I want to get rid of it for good. But anyway, trees aren't really suffering at the moment. So that's the bottle brush in the mallee style. Here's a sheep-eaten olive. Update on that one, growing pretty strongly. Here's the little portulaca from Lance that we repotted, because it came in that soil, because when he crossed the border he had to bare root it. So you can see she's doing really good. Still looks pretty healthy. The cuttings that we took from Big Little John, still green, not growing, too cold for growing, but still green. So there you go. Here's a Melaleuca bacteria or something. Bractida. Melaleuca bractida, I think it says on that tag anyway. Small writing. That one there is doing really well, so it's pretty cool. Another one from Lance, the Portulaca. This is a different one, and it's got new leaves coming out, and he was right. They come out in a yellow straight up, so that's good. Manchurian pear's gone to sleep. Remember, that had some really bright autumn colours, and I'm loving that autumn colours on that thing, but we'll do a bit of a trim and a repot on that one this year. These Boobiala bushes are seriously growing, doing pretty well. Even thinking about flowering, I believe. They're flowers. Leptospermum doing really good over here. I'll give you a, hang on, I'll get around there in a minute. Well, let's do this side of the bench. We're getting carried away. Well, I am. So here's a Melaleuca alternifolia. Super healthy, growing really well. Beautiful. Another Boobiala. You can see this bush is just growing so fast, so looks like I'll have to cut them down soon. Here's the plum that I did the carving on, treating a flat cut. Pretty cool, just chilling out. Daughter's ficus. Poor thing needs a repot. We've done nothing with it. A Jap maple. Okay, remember we repotted that one and did some trimming on it because it was flooding in the floor sweepings. So that seems to be doing okay. Here for shade we've got the Indian, what do you call it? The flame tree, Indian flame tree. It's growing up really well. Sun's trying to go down in the background down there. So I better hurry up actually. What else? Let's get over to here to the juniper that we did the styling on. Everything's just finished watering. So she's going okay. No sign of death yet. I'm sure this, that's a bit better. I'm sure the foliage will change colour as summer hits, but in winter, you know, it's got this dull sort of look about it. It's just too cold, I think. The kumquat tree that we repotted on that 40-degree day, did a bit of styling. Kumquat tree, it's even got a few kumquats. Held on to them. I believe there's some more, but you know, it's all good. There's Big Little John just chilling out. Some little thing which has got some sort of weird problem with the leaves. New growth seems okay, but old growth struggling. Daughter's little tree, look at this thing, just ridiculous. What it's done, this is a box, English box I think. And what it's done, it's actually a pretty cool tree. It's got a lot of good bark on it. Growing really well, but that is in the bottom of the pot. The daughter hasn't repotted it for that long. It's literally just pushing itself way out the pot. So originally that top of the moss was level with the pot, and it's grown, I'd say nearly 4 times the thickness of the pot. So you can see that. So funny. I have to get her onto repotting that, but that's pretty cool to look at. And that thing's doing alright there. It's doing fine. Also got this Melaleuca. It's not a honey myrtle, but it's similar to a honey myrtle with the purple flowers. I do have the name somewhere, but I keep forgetting it. So I've done that as a mallee style. Let's have a good look at this base. Okay, look at that. Just beautiful. It was a dead wood. and stuff on it. Absolutely stunning. It's going to be a pretty cool tree one day. We are losing light, so the focus is struggling a bit, so let's keep on moving. Okay, here's a crepe myrtle. Have to get the moss off that, but it's got really cool branching and stuff on it at the moment. Here's a peach that I defoliated, and it didn't really enjoy the defoliation. It died back a lot and it sort of shot outside, so note to self, do not defoliate a peach. It's still going dormant. Pomegranate, can't really see in there, but decent sized trunk in there. Move on from that one. That one's the oak that we did that carving on and left it natural just to get rid of a flat cut. So that's the oak, doing fine. The wisteria, okay, update on that one. She's still doing really well. Buds look good. Everything's looking good. It's going to have a lot of flowers this year, looking at all the buds. But yeah, pretty cool. An old, this is a really old olive tree. It's always been a slow grower, so we'll see what happens with that one. Here's another olive that I collected off of a bridge pylon one time. Pretty cool, really cool. Here's my box thorn. Okay, it's doing really well. It's got a lot of roots now and nothing seems to die back, but what it does is the leaves die off, then they come again, then it grows for a bit, and then they drop off, and then it happens again. It's like a yearly thing. Really strange. So I've got to get in here and give it another trim and a looking after. Here's Lance Richard's very first portulaca. Put it in a pot. Here's a Melaleuca of some description. A forest of apricot, fruiting apricot tree. Just your normal fruiting apricot. It's probably a bad idea. I'll probably end up getting some sort of, you know, that pussy sort of bacteria stuff on it. But for now, I'm just going to roll with it and see how she goes. Another Melaleuca. This one is a swamp paperbark. You know, it's got that spiderwebby stuff on it as well. This is an olive. Really cool olive under there. Okay. That one's doing really well. Really healthy. Here's the Sun's box thorn that we pulled out with the ute. Okay. Does have shoots and stuff on it, but I'll have to work on that and give it a weed. The big olive that me and Laurie pulled out the ground seems to be doing okay. We just sort of cut it and yanked her out, and look at all those shoots. Miles high, growing really well. It's giving me lots and lots of shoots to choose from. I did do a video where I chose what shoots I wanted. I'm going to do a heap of carving to this year. And also keep letting these branches grow until they're fat enough. The other one that we pulled up, okay, most of the trunk died off. The whole back's dead. That whole back of this main trunk is dead, and you've only got this part here alive on the, well, front, I guess. It's the only part alive, so you can see it is actually putting out some decent growth now. But like I say, most of the trunk is dead. Here's a gooseberry mallee sitting and chilling here. Okay, so that's a gooseberry mallee. Be an interesting thing to do. Behind that is another Melaleuca. Starting to get quite thick. There's my hand. It's thickening up pretty well. another Melaleuca back here. You can see I'm starting to become quite a fan of the Melaleucas. Another one here. I had them all featured in the bonsai for. I had them all featured in the bonsai for less than $100. All of these ones were part of it, so they're doing pretty well. What else we got here? We got another olive. This is the back of the olive. So big hollowed out trunk, doing really well. The silver birch here is also doing super good. All the branching seems to be alive. Everything's going good. I'll try and get around and get a better look at that one in a second. First, let's go around this way. Tomato bush got frosted. It's all dying off. Plenty of old tomatoes, but they've gone to the heavens. Okay, another olive here. You can see there's a lot of deadwood carving done to it. So you can see all that deadwood carving. Beautiful. It's going fine. Someone did suggest just removing both those trunks from the main tree and just having the main tree, but I think the feature is with two other trunks. I think on its own it wouldn't be much at all, but with all this other stuff going on, it's actually quite interesting. So anyway, there's that one. There's a ball of mess. That's some orchids and stuff. Just a ball of mess. Another Melaleuca, another olive. So you can see that olive's doing really well. It's a hollowed out one. It's the old wood. Have a look inside. It's doing pretty cool. Okay, here's the few weeds in here, but we've got to do a bit more spraying soon. Get rid of some weeds. This is the what is it, Sammy? Cedar. Deodora cedar on the rock that I did all that wiring to. Sitting on the rock. Got it strapped down for the wind. And it's just sitting there. It hasn't had any trouble. You can see the buds are swelling, so I'm assuming it's going to be fine. Even past the needles, there's a bud there trying to swell up. But yeah, I'm really happy with how it's responding and how buds are starting to swell around the place. So here you can see a couple of buds here swelling up. So soon, maybe soon, it'll start to grow. So here's another look at the, sorry, you can't really get in there, silver birch. Okay, so pretty cool silver birch, a pretty cool trunk, some hollows. Sorry if it's a bit wobbly, I'm struggling to hold it still. I really need to get some sort of a gimbal or something. Okay, so here we got my old olive trunk that I got from the show for $35, something like that. All the carving done to it. Really old corky bark. Beautiful old bark on it. If we looked closely, it may be starting to green up. These are one of the first things to shoot in spring, although they actually shoot late winter. So that's pretty cool. Tiny Zilm's gone to sleep down here, the little one. So that little guy's having a bit of a rest. This is the back of the tree. Lemon tree here, grown from seed, so it's not looking overly healthy, but there is some shoots on it, and I don't believe they love winter anyway. I think they look pretty miserable in winter and then they come back in summer, so we'll let that one just chill out. I think that's the wife's indoor plant that I put outside because it was dying. It's sort of coming back. There's some shoots on it. It's getting too much water in here anyway. And here's my original plant, the ash tree. And I want to repot this year. That's extremely root bound in there, and even though it's only been a couple of years, it's making it really, really hard to water. And I just noticed today, some of the shoots are just starting to swell up and green up, so I've got to seriously repot. They might even do it tomorrow. Quite a few of the shoots. It won't take long, another week, this will have leaves all over it. So I've got to do that probably tomorrow. So tomorrow's video I'll probably be working on my first ever tree, repotting it. Coalbark maple next, doing really well. Super, super good trunk on that thing, root base. Pretty good taper really. Doing well. You can really see in winter the look to the young shoots, the really red young shoots. In you know, when they get older, they don't really have the redness to them, as you can see with that trunk, but when they're younger they certainly do have a lot of red. Pretty cool. One behind it is a camellia, not sure what type. It's not overly happy here, it hasn't flowered for me. I defoliated it, which was a big mistake. It shot back really bad. It it just didn't like it. Bad idea. Bad idea. Don't defoliate camellia. This one here's a Melaleuca. Okay, with the top right up top. So it'll be an interesting type tree, that what I do with that. I did originally cut it back to here last year, just to see whether it back budded, which it did. So if I want to, I can now come back and cut it back further and get some back budding, but we'll see. Avocado tree here in the ground, looks like it's nearly carked it. Combination of frosts and too much water, but I can't do much about how much water it gets. This really heavy ground here, almost clay, and it gets all the runoff from all the bonsais and it pulls up down there, so definitely too much water, but I can't do much about it. Okay, here we got hawthorn. So you can see that hawthorn in all its glory, all its prickles. Doing really well. It held on to one fruit, first fruit I've ever had from this thing. Held on to one. But there's a lot of buds on it. You can see you get a lot of funny sort of shapes and bulges in the branching on a hawthorn, but that one needs a trim, which I will do before it shoots. Now, where are we? The bay tree, super healthy, growing really well. Does not look back for a fair while, it's just powered ahead. Something's happened down here to this branch, maybe shaded out, so I might have to quickly trim it back soon. I don't want that branch to really die, but it might be. Anyway, there's that one. Okay, olive that I just worked on, that's the back of it. Got it facing this way so the sun hits there. Another olive I've got to work on, this is a Sleepy Hollow, I believe, olive. It's pretty cool. I've got to really start moving because I'm starting to run out of daylight. Here's an olive on a stump, and you can see that thing's super healthy. That's part of the original stump, just the side bit that was still alive. Got to do some more work on that one soon, but she's getting there. The sun's box thorn, shooting out, doing okay. Root over rock from Lance. Now when I did repot this, I put the rock the wrong way around. I thought I did, and then he let me know that I did, so it's all good. Maybe next time I'll try to get it right. Here we got another olive which I dug up with a screwdriver. So that's pretty cool. It's looking really good. One day I've got to get some of these trees on a display stand so that I can get further back and have a good look at them on their own with all this, without all this background, you know, disturbance. So one day I've got to set up a proper display for my best ones. Otherwise it's very hard to see the good ones. Here's the one that I did the sandpaper treatment on, the very original one. You can see up there the bark's gone all corky. The camera is having trouble focusing now because it's getting so dark. Doesn't look like it in the camera, but it's getting really dark. Okay. Here we've got my peppercorn tree. As you can tell, I'm just as bad with names of trees as I are with people. Absolutely shocking. I've got to think about it every single bloody time. Apart from olive, I know my olive. So this is a peppercorn, all hollowed out trunk. Gonna get the super glue method going on in there, I think, before it gets any worse. That's super cool. I did have some good flowers on that this year, but no berries, so that's alright. Pretty cool. Peppercorn. This is a prunus. Got a surprise coming up about this prunus soon, but you guys will have to wait and see. This is a prunus, or devil's plum. Doing really well. It's hard to get in there, so I can't really get good views of some things because I just can't get in there. I've literally got stuff just crammed everywhere. So that's the prunus. You can tell in the back the sun's pretty well gone down. Olive, doing really well. Needs a trim. That one will be on a video very soon. Trim of the olive. Okay, we're getting around now. Funny looking cloud today. So there's that main big one. Now let's get under here and show you guys this forest. This forest is actually doing really well. So you can imagine walking around in here looking up at the forest. Pretty cool. Olive forest. Also a native hibiscus. It's just about to flower. These flowers don't last very long. Trunk's getting fat already. It's going to be an interesting thing to do as bonsai, but I'll try. Flowers don't last long. They come out for about a day or two and then they're gone again. Okay, another silver birch down here with a funny looking elbow here, which most people hate, but I'm keeping it. This is my ugly tree bonsai or something like that, I think it was. This is another gooseberry mallee next to it here. Got to get in there, get rid of some weeds. Apple tree here. That's the back of the apple tree. Try to go to the front. Okay, so this is the front of the apple tree. And it's tall enough that you can see it without all the distraction of the background. got super big buds all over it, so it's going to be an absolute flower fest going on here when it does flower. There's so many flowers on this thing, it's going to be ridiculous. Last year this did well, but I did over fertilize it and burn it at one stage. But yeah, last year this apple did do super well. Anyway, that's the apple. Tempted to actually, because the trunk's not that great on it, actually tempted to try and do an air layer here. I don't know guys, could be risky. Do an air layer here and then have that as the trunk. Not sure. Going to be a big risk if I do. Bottle brush. Really cool tree. Has not looked this healthy in ages. Really healthy at the moment. All these flower buds pushing everywhere. These are all flower buds. Absolutely everywhere. She's going to flower up like mad this year. Have a good look at the trunk in here. Any of you guys on No Rules Bonsai, my Facebook group, if you guys want to join. This is the featured tree on the front of the group. No Rules Bonsai. Pretty cool. Let's hope we can get a good photo of it this year with flowers. Little olive. Really cool. Not very big, but super cool. Super ramified. Beautiful little tree. Hawthorn forest back there that I did that carving on the other day, so you guys would have seen that. Got to trim that thing and do a bit of styling. The Chinese elm, where the shoots are right up in the air to try and fatten a new branch that I'm making. It's ready to cut. It's fat enough now. I've got to cut it, but just got to wait for the right timing. I reckon another couple of weeks. I'll do a video on that, cut the main ones off. There's also one at the back, which comes off the back through here, where my fingers are wiggling around. That was to fatten up that one, so pretty cool. So that's a Chinese elm. Back here is a Melaleuca. Up in the air, I'm doing that one as a mallee clump, mallee style as well, so that's going to be pretty cool in future. Here we got the almond. I've got to decide whether I want to repot that because it's actually budding out now. It's actually already got a flower or two on it. So there's the almond. Going to be super cool. Very soon it's going to have some beautiful flowers on it. It's hard to get in there to get this, look at this flower, but they do have beautiful flowers and they do smell just beautiful. Hopefully you guys can see that because I can't even see what the camera's looking at. Oh. Another Chinese elm back here. I would have done this in more daylight, but after work it's dark so quick. So I just rushed home, got the camera out, and here we are. Another Chinese elm needs some work done pretty soon. Pretty cool. Mulberry tree. So here's a mulberry tree. Now one of the best branches that drooped down the front and made the front like droopy here. It rolled off the benches this year and it snapped all these branches off. And I don't know if you guys know much about mulberry, but they don't like to back bud. So where it snapped off, that's it. It just died back. So if you guys have got an old mulberry, don't go cutting back into old wood because chances are it's going to die right back to the next shoot. The next young shoot with buds on. Never ever cut into old wood expecting it to bud back because it will not. You have to wait for buds to come out on their own. After a good growing year, it'll push buds on its own and then you can cut back to there later. But don't cut back expecting buds because they probably won't. So these are new buds that have shot on old wood. This wood is 40 to 50 years old on here. because this is from a 50-year-old tree, and this is one of its very first little branches. The tree was never really watered, so it's a fairly stunted tree, but it's 50 years old. So this was an air layer off of it. So they do air layer. Cuttings are a little bit difficult, and if you cut back into old wood, don't expect back budding. But if you allow back budding like this and then cut back there, that'll grow just here fine. So never cut back into old wood unless you don't want that branch. Here's another one from Lance, Portulaca. It's got a new leaf trying to grow there. I don't know what that one is, no idea. I got that one from Laurie when he came over. No idea what it is, but there you go. Looks like some sort of Melaleuca. Crepe myrtle back there. Look at the root base on that crepe myrtle. That's a nice big crepe myrtle. Beautiful branching and stuff. I might go around and have a look in a second at that one. Here's the cement mixer. One that went rolling and poling around. Well, a lot of shoots have been broken off and died back, but she's still kicking along, still doing okay. I'll go back around the other side in a second. Here's the red gum, Australian native red gum. I gave that a trim a while ago. You can see how small the leaves are getting on this thing, so they do ramify pretty well. Actually quite a good tree for bonsai. And after defoliation, these are the new shoots that are pushed out. Before it was just dying back like this, but after defoliation it just pushed shoots everywhere. So you can see another one down here, another one out the front there. Everywhere. The red pine, still very yellow, but I'm assuming it'll come back. Some of the buds look like they're forming at least, so I assume it's okay. Here's another Melaleuca, which is going to be done also in the mallee style with a clump down there. Very hard to see, but I've worked on that one. That was a Bunnings beginner tree, and it's actually starting to become a half decent tree now. We'll do some work on that one soon. Another one that I want to do work on now is this collected, well, I'm so hopeless. I just forget everything. This collected box thorn. So when I first collected it with the ute, we ripped it out. Had no roots. It's recovered, it's grown. This is what they do, they grow and then the old branches, the leaves drop off and die back. But if you cut them back down at the base or leave a couple of inches, they do back bud. So it's fine to cut everything off and let it back bud and start new branches. That was a bit of wood I had for wind support, so the wind didn't blow it over. Yeah, that's the box thorn. So we're going to be doing a video on that one maybe this weekend. It's going to be a big video. I'm thinking could be a 5 or 6 hour video. We'll see how we go with that one. There's a dog. Hey Leo, you eating grass, buddy? Hey? You eating grass? Leo? What you doing? You eating grass? Hey? You want to say hello? You want to say hello? Yeah, you're very beautiful. Yes you are. You're so beautiful. Watch out for spikes in there, Bubba. Watch out for spikes. You're getting rained on now. What is that? What is that? Is that a spike? Bubba. Okay, okay, Bubba. Okay, this is a cement mixer one again. Son went and collected a heap of moss for me, so I put some moss around some of my trees. You can see some of the old scarring and stuff here from the cement mixer, but in general it's doing okay. Here's a crepe myrtle from the other side. It's probably the best side. Got good roots, but really nice branch structure from this side. So that one's in in need of a pot soon. Put on so much ramification this year. Had almost none last year, and I reckon I cut it back 4 times, maybe 3 times, but I got at least 4 lots of ramification in only 1 year, so that's pretty cool. There's a trident maple. Did actually grow pretty well this year. Might even be thinking about moving soon. And here's the Chinese elm again. Looking up into the Chinese elm. And there's the Melaleuca from the back as well. And the hawthorn forest. But as you can tell, it's getting seriously dark now. So, that's it. Cheers for watching Aussie Bonsai Bloke. Please like, share, subscribe. Appreciate all your comments, guys. Tell your mates about the channel. Keep commenting. But really loving all the comments and the support you guys have given me. Sun is gone down, and I think it's time to go inside and sit by the fire and warm up. But cheers. Whoops. But cheers for watching, and most of all, have fun with your bonsai. Thanks very much. Catch you later, guys. Cheers.